If it's regular tattoo ink, laser that shit all the way off. Can I say that? Okay, laser that shit all the way off. And hi, I'm Aidan White. I'm here at Inks Magazine. I'm a tattooer, and we're here to talk about cosmetic tattoos. I started tattooing in 2017. I didn't have a traditional approach to tattooing. I didn't do the apprenticeship. I didn't work at a shop for 3 years. I have a lot of medical problems, and so at the time I was dealing with seizures and not being able to walk right, and so it really major things that prevented me from being able to live my life, be independent, really hyper-focus on my career. So while dealing with doctor's appointments and going to the hospital, time that I had free, I was either drawing or painting or tattooing friends and neighbors or tattooing myself. I really tried to take advantage of that time as much as possible. I saw a really big opportunity to connect with people in the way where I'm dealing with my medical issues and I can relate to people going through something. I was mentored by this woman, Carrie Angel, actually here in New York, and she really helped me get my foot in the door with cosmetic and medical tattooing. And then from there, I've just been going like super hard and just really pushing myself. Getting tattooed and finding someone to tattoo you, you really have to trust them, and you put your time and effort into doing your research and making sure you're comfortable with who you're going to. It's of course the same for cosmetic and medical tattoos, but I think something I've noticed, especially with the medical tattoos, people are a little bit more hesitant, and they've already been through so much medically, and so the last thing they want to do is add more trauma or add more pain to what they're experiencing. And the last thing they want is a messed up tattoo. They don't want to make something they're trying to close a chapter on worse. It's very emotional. We'll be crying in the beginning because of their story. We're crying during because it's, they're seeing it come to life, and then we're crying at the end because it's like, I can end this chapter now. So it's a really emotional but beautiful process. Oh, that's mine. Oh, awesome. So I love her so much. So she had her eyeliner done. The top was done by somebody else before me, and she was really unhappy with it. So I fixed it and I gave her something that she wanted. Most people are really terrified because, like you said, having a needle this close to your eye, it's very stressful. Most of the time they're like, yeah, it's fine, just do what you need to do. And some people are like shaking as they're coming in. So I just calm them down. I make it like a relaxing environment, not coming after them with a needle like, hey, let's do this. We numb the area. So when people start to feel that set in, they're so much more relaxed. And then I kind of just draw on what we're going to be doing, and they kind of tell me what they're looking for too. So I'll start really thin and they'll say, well, this is how I want it, or I do my makeup more this way. And so once we are set on what we want it to look like, then I just go in and tattoo it, and it's pretty quick, really easy. And they end up like either falling asleep or just relaxing into this super meditative state. And they are very surprised that they don't really feel much at all. It's a pretty nice process that people are surprised by. But yeah, I love her. She's my favorite. Oh no, I've seen this. This is so bad. I feel like you can see the pain in her eyes. You can see the pain in her face. What I think might have happened is a nightmare. This is like such a sad story. So I think she probably had her eyebrows maybe really tweezed or shaved off, and the person who tattooed it just went for it.
How would you go about fixing something like this?
So, removal first. That's also the different thing too. So when doing the cosmetic tattoos, you use a different formulated pigment. Regular tattoo ink on your face, it will look like something like this. Like, it will just be a disaster. So if it's a regular tattoo ink, laser that shit all the way off. Can I say that? Okay, laser that shit all the way off, and then we'll start from there. Yeah, you would have to really take your time with that one. That's another one of mine. I love it. So this is the medical tattoo for scar camouflage. This was probably one of the toughest tattoos I've done for scar camouflage. She actually had a tattoo surgically removed 20 years ago. And it was a pretty large tattoo. I don't know what it looked like. She wouldn't tell me what it was, so I didn't ask any more questions. So she actually had went to a handful of artists, regular tattoo artists and cosmetic artists, to try and camouflage whatever pigment was left over after everything. And a lot of those people f***ed that up and really messed it up. And so when she came to me, she had that issue. She had the pigment from the first tattoo. I mean, it was all over the place. And so I told her, I said, I promise I won't add to the trauma that's going onto your leg, and I'm going to try and help you as much as possible. The thing with this is you have to really know color theory and really understand how to neutralize something, and that's exactly what we did. We neutralized different areas. But she was so happy, and it looked so good after our first session, and I'm really excited about it because now she can finally start closing the like 20-year process of whatever horrible tattoo was there. So definitely, again, think about your tattoos before you get them, because that's super important. You don't want to surgically remove them, and I don't want to, I mean, I'll do it, but I don't want people to feel that bad to the point where they have to like literally cut it out of their skin. So always think about your tattoos. Not the worst, not the worst. She just has 2 eyebrow tails, and that's just not aesthetically pleasing. I'm sure she can cover it with makeup on her downtime, but she looks really pissed off. She does not look happy about it. Because this is such a distinct thing that you're doing with the cosmetic tattoos, you really need to be very precise. Start small. You could always layer. You have to really take your time. You don't want to rush it. Even if you're just so comfortable with your process, if you're going straight to bold, straight for thick, straight for, oh, this is fine, everything's fine, it's not fine. It's usually not fine. So that can be fixed though. She has some hope. Yeah.
I like your little trepidation there. That can be fixed.
She has a lot of hope. Oh, I love her so much. She is one of my favorite people ever. I did her lash enhancement. So lash enhancements are becoming very popular. That's when you apply a very thin line of pigment in between your eyelashes. And when you're doing that, you have to be just even extra careful, because since it is a very thin line and it's supposed to be very subtle, if you like go a little bit out of the area that you are already in, you really can't go back from that. So you have to be very, very careful. She was my favorite. I have a reaction video of her from when I did this here, and it was just super cute. She was so happy, and it looks really great, especially when it's healed. It just really enhances your eye shape, your eye color, and it's nice if you don't want something to be noticeable. So it's a really good subtle option, becoming really popular. What makes a good cosmetic tattooer is your attention to detail. I know that's kind of a generalized answer because you have to have that with regular tattooing, but with cosmetic tattooing, you're really focusing a lot on someone's face. So you have to be very precise. You have to map things out. You have to be really communicative with your client. You have to show them everything before you do it. I always say, like, you have time to layer something. You have time to start softer and smaller, because if you do something really big and bold, it's going to be a lot more complicated to try and go back from that. So I think it's just real attention to detail and communication is the biggest foundation that you can have with your client. I'm Aidan White. I hope you learned something today about cosmetic tattoos. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is Aidan Tattoos. Very straightforward. So if you have any questions or want to book any appointments, just let me know. Thanks for watching at Inked, right?
Brilliant. Yeah.